from tfindthecraftsurgeon.com, and hopefully you guys are having a wonderful week. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Casing Tuesday. I am super excited because even though today is not Tuesday, it's Wednesday, and you guys know what that means. It's June 3rd. So our new annual catalog is going to be launching today at 12 noon Mountain Time. And that's basically like 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for me. But that is really exciting. But anyways, I digress. I wanted to hop on here, though, and show you guys this week's sketch from our Casing Tuesday Challenge group on Facebook. So, Casing Tuesday, what is it? If you're not familiar with what the term casing means, casing is a term that was coined by Stampin Up, and it stands for copy and share everything, or as some of us like to say, copy and selectively edit. And so how this works is every single Tuesday on this group, there is a sample card posted from the Stampin' Up! Catalog, any of our publications. And with this sketch, there's measurements and there's always the image of the actual card itself. And so how it works is anyone can play along, and to do so, all you have to do is either create the card as shown in the book, which is allowed because you're casing, right? Or you can put your own flair to it, which is something that I always like to do. So that's what I'm on here to do, is to show you an alternative way to create the card that was picked for this week. And so like I said, this week's sketch is number 254, and we are pulling this sketch from page 67 of our mini catalog, which sadly is now obsolete because we got the new catalog coming out. But I love to keep our books because I always refer back to them. I have them from all of the catalogs from the time I joined, and so I always go back and I look at the different cards and projects that are created in the book, and I use that as inspiration. So this is a great way to kickstart your creativity if you're in a creating rut. So like I said, this is page 67, and the card that we're going to be creating today is the one similar to this little guy here. Now, this is a really pretty card. I love the color combo that they used on here. If you look really closely, hopefully I'm in the frame. Can y'all see this? Yeah, y'all can see it now. Okay. All right. But this is the card that we're going to create. And as you can see, there's some designer paper in the background. There's like the flags in the back. There's actually 2 of them, and they're stacked on top of each other. They're different sizes. There's a die cut. Actually, there's 2 die cuts on this card. I actually had to look really closely, but there is an oval, and there's one that came from the not Stitch So Sweetly. What is it called? One of the dies that actually is retired now. But there's that one, and then they're using the Timeless Tulips stamp set and punch for the stamp set, which is the center of the attention here. And then, of course, the sentiment that says hello. And then they embellished it with some awesome little rhinestones. So I think those are rhinestones, or those look like enamel dots. I'm not sure, but they have embellishments around it. Now, here is my version of the card. See, I told you guys, I love to put my flair on it and create my own. It's a great starting point. So this card here has the same concept. However, I changed it up a bit, and you would have never known that I had took this from one of the samples in the catalog. So as you can see, I got the DSP. I have my stamp set as the center focal point. I have my stitched die cut piece in the back. I have my 2 flags, and I also embellished it with some sequins and some ribbon as well. Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys how I created this card, so stay tuned. All right, so the first thing I am going to use on my card is the following stamps. I'm using Healing Hugs. The sentiment is going to be pulled from Timeless Tulips. Okay, so with Healing Hugs, I really love this set. This is one of my faves, and it is considered what's called distinctive, which is a photorealistic type of stamp. This is something that a process that Stampin' Up! Is patenting. It's basically the ability to use a photorealistic image and put it onto a stamp. So as you can see, there's a lot of really beautiful detail in this stamp. And so I love our distinctive stamps because they're just amazing. But this particular stamp set is great for just giving words of encouragement for people to get well. So we have sending you healing vibes. We have get well soon. If hugs and kisses could cure you, be immune to everything, feel better soon, and wishing you a quick and complete recovery. Like I said, there's this distinctive flower here. The leaves right here are distinctive, and then there's a few accent background type stamps in here. I'm also using, like I said, the Timeless Tulip stamp set. I'm pulling in the Happy Birthday, which is I thought was really cute on this card. So those are the two stamps that I'm going to be using. For my background piece, for my Whisper White piece, I am using the Stitch So Sweetly dies. So this is, I think, the second biggest die in the set. So that's how I was able to get the scalloped border with the stitch piece on there. And then for inks, I am going to be using Memento Tuxedo Black ink, my Rococo Rose, and Granny Apple Green. All right, and for cardstock, I am pulling in one of the ink colors, and this is called Seaside Spray. So this is the Seaside Spray cardstock. It's a standard A2 size card base. Then I have a piece of the Seaside Spray DSP, and it's like double-sided, so this is really, really, really pretty paper. I love the basics because you can do anything with those that DSP. Very, very versatile. Then I have a piece of scrap Whisper White to do my stamping on. And then I have a piece of gray granite and basic gray, which are going to be my flags in the background. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to apply my piece of Designer Series paper to my card base. So I'm going to make sure I have it creased like I want. Okay, so we're going to add our piece of DSP onto here. Now, one thing you want to make sure is if you have a piece of Designer Series paper that has a design on it, that's directional. Make sure you cut it the right way so that way you don't have to worry about your direction facing in the wrong way. All right, so there's that one. All right, so let's set this to the side and we're going to go ahead and do our stamping. So the biggest thing I can give you, or biggest tip that I can give you when it comes to our distinctive stamps, is that a lot of times, and even with this image that you see here, it's not as detailed as it should be. And the reason why I say that is because you have to make sure that you have the right saturation on your ink pad in order to see all of that beautiful detail in these stamps. Okay, so there's such a thing as your ink pad being too juicy and not juicy enough. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stamp my my flower down just like that. And you see how deep it is? You can't really see the details in it. And that was kind of spotty. So I just have to keep trying. I think I have it's too inky. I think my stamp set is, or my ink pad is a little too inky. Okay. So as you can see, like, it's still not as detailed as I wanted because there's too much ink on my ink pad. Let's do this. We're going to push some of this ink down. Y'all seeing this live time right now. All right, let me grab another piece of cardstock. I'm gonna put this to the side. All right. Now I'm going to stamp. I'm looking for. All right, so now I'm going to pull in one of my little sentiment strips here. So a piece of Whisper White. I'm going to take my basic black and I'm going to ink this little guy up just like that. I'm going to stamp this little guy down too onto our piece of Whisper White. And then on our scalloped piece here, I am going to take the leaf from that stamp set. And once again, in my Greeny Apple Green, I'm going to just stamp 2 of these little leaves down on it just like that. So they're going to be peeking from underneath our flower. All right, so now we're going to take our paper snips and we're going to cut out our images. And like I said, there are no dies for this, but these images are pretty big and easy to cut out. All right, so there we go. So now that we've cut out all of our pieces, we are going to now trim down our flags. And so I'm going to pull in, just to make it easier on myself, my triple banner punch. So the first piece that I'm going to trim down is my piece of gray granite. And I'm just gonna line this up in here. This is 4 inches, about 1 1/4 inch, I think. And so I'm just going to line this up. And I love this punch because it makes flagging so easy. All right, and then I'm gonna do the same for my piece of basic gray. So I'm just lining up those points. And I need it to come down just a little bit more. Okay, that looks good. Maybe, hold on. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. That looks fine. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to trim down my little sentiment strip here as well. All right, so there we go. So now it's time for us to assemble our cards. So I'm gonna just take my Snell adhesive and we're just gonna start putting these little pieces. Oh, this still isn't short enough. Take this down just a little bit more. Just like that. There we go. Took me a minute. All right, and then we're gonna stick our flag onto the back of our Whisper White. Just like that. And then I'm going to attach our leaves down onto here. Just put a little bit of adhesive on the back. And then I want these to kind of come off of the card. Just like this. Kind of overlap it. And then I'm going to flip this little guy over and add some dimensionals onto the back side. And we're going to pop this little guy right on up over those leaves. Just like so. And then we're going to flip this little guy over. Let me go for my dimensions. And we're going to pop this little guy up as well. I had like a full sheet of dimensionals. I don't know what I did with them. They're up here somewhere on my table. They always get lost when I'm crafting. Oops. So things don't want to cooperate. Okay. All right, so now we're going to attach this little guy right onto our card base, just like that. There we go. And then we're going to take our sentiment, do the same thing, pop it up with some dimensionals. All right. And now I'm going to take some of our scallop lace trim and I'm going to tie a bow. I'm actually going to like legit tie a bow. So I'm taking about 12 inches of ribbon for this one because I like how on my initial card, I like how long the tails are for this bow. Because I wanted to pop up from beneath the sentiment. And then I'm going to add a glue dot to this little guy, just like this. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim it down. And all right, so now it's time to embellish. So I'm going to throw some of my sequins on here. These are just some that I had in my stash that coordinate with this beautiful color. It's called Seaside Spray. All right, and there you go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my shimmer pen. Usually I use an aqua painter. However, I just came up with a way another way to use my shimmer paint. And so it's basically in a paint pen because I got tired of my spritzer clogging. So that's what I'm going to use on here. So I put a few drops, excuse me, a few drops of my shimmer paint in conjunction with some alcohol in here. So it's in one of my things, and then my aqua painters, and then I just labeled it with so I know what it is. And I'm just going to color it. And because it's alcohol, it dries like super fast. So there we go. Puts that subtle shimmer on there. Okay. And there we go. Isn't it pretty? Casing Tuesday on a Wednesday. So this is my Casing Tuesday sketch for this week. All right, so here's a final look at our cards. They are so pretty. I really love them. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. So that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's cards. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I've included links down below in the description box that has all the supplies that I used on today's projects. Also, there will be a link to a coordinating blog post where you can find more details on the project that we created today. And if you guys want to continue to see more videos like this one, get more inspiration, be sure to hit that notification bell, subscribe to my channel, and share my videos with the world. I greatly appreciate it. But other than that, that's all I got for you guys for now. So see you guys next time. Thanks for watching and happy stamping.